Hey guys, so just got back from the theater from seeing Birds of Prey. Only one movie today. Yay! It's so nice to only go see one movie. It's it's so nice, and then you don't have to see a second one. It feels different. It just feels like I have a little bit of energy after I leave the theater than when I go see two movies. And when I see two movies, I feel exhausted, even if the movies are good. And like this is the only big release this past weekend was Birds of Prey, and that's it. So it's one of those rare weekends where there's only one movie out. So that's like I said, I am not complaining. But like next week we get like four new releases, so go back to fucking normal. Hell, that's not including if they do anything else that will fucking surprise me. But anyways, Birds of Prey. For full disclosure, and I've talked about this before, I have reviewed Suicide Squad before when it came out. I was not a big fan of Suicide Squad. Not at all. I hated Suicide Squad. I seem to be in somewhat the minority when it comes to that. I don't understand people that like Suicide Squad. It sucks. It's a terrible movie. There's even people that try to tell me that Jared Leto is one of the best Jokers. Those people are high. I did not care too much for the Suicide Squad at all. But saying that, one of the biggest positives about Suicide Squad, and one of the only things I liked about Suicide Squad, was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She was a fucking positive about that movie. I gave her a glowing review. I thought she nailed it as far as that character, how she portrayed that character. So when I heard about this movie, I was on the fence a little bit, but also kind of optimistic because, like I said, I'm a fan of this version of Harley Quinn. She knocked it out of the park the first time around. Why not give her own fucking movie while you're at it? And that's also like a female team-up superhero-esque movie. Alright, that's cool. Like, the trailers looked okay for this movie, and they didn't look like nothing that spectacular, but it didn't look that bad or anything. I was genuinely surprised this past weekend to find out that this. I don't know if anybody how many people know this, but this movie is not doing well at the box office, like at all. It's like one of the lowest grossing DC movies like ever, and I'm like, wow. What the hell happened there? I'm not 100% sure. It seems like a lot of people don't know what the fuck happened there. But for some reason, this movie is not doing well. Even though it's getting pretty well received by critics and mostly audiences across the board, it's not getting well received. It's not being seen by a lot of people. Hell, when I saw this movie this afternoon, I was the only one in the theater. No joke. They had it in the big auditorium, and I had the whole theater to myself. So, yeah. What did I think about the movie as a whole? I liked it. I did. I liked Birds of Prey. As far as, like, the DC movies go as of late, this is probably my least favorite. And that's not like saying that this movie sucks or anything. I think stuff like Shazam and Wonder Woman and Aquaman were better, but I still like this movie. It has problems, and I'll get to that. But I did like this movie. The biggest positive of this movie for me, and the most entertaining part about this movie for me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She is having a time of her life doing this role. You can fucking tell. When an actor is having fun on screen, you can tell while you're watching it, that makes you that makes you enjoy the performance they're giving. And this is one of those cases. She's awesome. This is like perfect fucking casting as far as like superhero movies go. And, people always talk about like there's a certain casting in superhero movies that are perfect and just are like not or just spot on, and this is my opinion, one of them. Like, she knocks this shit out of the park. Like, she is over the top, hilarious, and goofy, like the Harley Quinn that most people know from the comic books. She pulls it off and is really good at it. I generally liked the opening part of this movie where, okay, if you're wondering if Jared Leto's in this movie, he's not in this movie per se, because they do show flashbacks of scenes from Suicide Squad, various parts of the movie. Not a lot in this movie, but there's various parts where they will flash back to, like, when talking about Harley Quinn's, like, origin story. And you'll just see the back of Jared Leto's head whenever he would be in a scene. It's kind of funny. But, like, at the beginning of the movie, like, she kind of goes through her origin story again for people that have not heard it before or not seen Suicide Squad, where it's an animation form. So, like, you get the animated versions of Harley Quinn and the Joker, but it's like the original comic book versions that you all know and love, like, even with the Harley Quinn outfit that she's more well known for than in the comics than this one. And also, like, it's the true Joker. It's what the Joker looks like in the comics. It's not like the stupid version that Jared Leto did in where he's got, like, ha 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 tattooed on his forehead and has, like, white skin and it looks really fucking stupid. It has grill in his teeth. It looks really fucking dumb and retarded. No, this is like, whenever they would cut to the, like, an animated version of Joker, it's the true Joker, like, version of Joker that we all know from the comic books. I like that. That was pretty cool. Like I said, Harley Quinn, awesome in this movie. I just kind of got sidetracked there, but I just wanted to mention that. But Harley Quinn is awesome in this movie. She is the best part. Second best part of this movie, Ewan McGregor as a Black Mask, who is, again, another guy who's just having the time of his life doing this role. He's over the top, crazy. This guy literally cuts people's faces off. But I'm not making that up. That's probably where he got some of his R rating. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But, like, there's a scene where he kidnaps a guy who double crosses him or says no to him, and he kidnaps this guy and his wife and daughter, and he fucking cuts off this guy's face and then cuts off his daughter's face too. It's fucked up. It's a really fucked up scene. It has some comedy to it, but it's really fucked up. I give the movie props when it does shit like that. That was pretty crazy. That was like one of the first introductions to the character. I'm like, damn. Ewan McGregor's having fun. He can be sinister as hell in this movie. He's really, I've really enjoyed him in this movie. He's sinister and also hilarious and over the top. Like, it really does it really well. I liked, out of, like, the girls in the movie, I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She honestly probably could have her own movie with this character. She had probably the most badass backstory out of anybody in this movie. It's really, really well done, and honestly, you could have made her give her own movie with this fucking character because it is really cool. Like, her character is kind of cool for just from the backstory alone. And also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a really good actress, so yeah. Also, it's nice to see something like Rosie Perez and something that isn't like white, like Rosie Perez from. She's not playing like Rosie Perez from White Men Can't Jump. That's one performance I always remember her for. I remember her being annoying as shit in that movie, but, like, over the years, she's grown to become a really good actress, and, like, she's really good in this movie. They keep making fun of her because she just delivers these really ultra cheesy 80s cop lines throughout the movie, and they keep calling her on that. It's pretty funny. I was like, it's the way the character's written, and at least they kind of give a wink, nod whenever comes to this character. This movie, well, like I said, the performances is one of those movies that the performances and everything else kind of was what carried it for me. But now I'm going to start kind of getting to some of the negatives. Because, like, one of the biggest problems I have with this movie, and I can't be the only one who mentioned this, is you notice, if you see the movie, that in big letters, the movie is called Birds of Prey, right? It's called Birds of Prey. And then it just says, and Emancipation of Harley Quinn or something like that, yada, like an afterthought. But they should have just called this movie Harley Quinn the movie. It's Harley Quinn's movie. Birds of Prey are barely in this fucking thing. They are side characters in this fucking thing. It's all Harley Quinn. And I'm not complaining about that because, again, Margot Robbie is awesome in this movie. And she carries this thing. But then, when you get introduced to Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, like, this character would be given their own fucking movie and probably would really be really good. And I kind of want to see that. But she's just a side character in this movie and is barely in it for most of this movie. And, like, the team up that you see in the trailers, like the whole team up that you see in the trailers is not, they don't even team up until the last 20 minutes of this movie. And it's what you see in the trailer where, like, in an amusement park, that's the final set piece where they finally get together. And like I said, and fucking the Birds of Prey group doesn't really get together until, like, the last 2 minutes of the movie itself, which is like, so why the fuck did you call it Birds of Prey? like, just call it Harley Quinn the movie. Like, don't try to make it something that it is not, because it's not a Birds of Prey movie. It's a Harley Quinn movie. Like, that drove me nuts. Like, because the movie is it is really stupid that they did that. It is really stupid that they did that. Like, because, like, honestly, there's parts of this movie where, like, you probably could have cut out the Birds of Prey subplot. It probably would have been the same movie. The other characters are essential, but you could you could have just called Harley Quinn the movie, and they could have been side characters, and then they could have had their eventual own movie later on down the road. That's what they should have done, instead of just packing them in with, like, the Birds of Prey plot and with the Harley Quinn movie. It's just like, do you want to be a Birds of Prey movie or do you want to be a Harley Quinn movie? It's obviously you want to be a Harley Quinn movie, so just make your Harley Quinn movie and then make a Birds of Prey movie, alright? It's kind of annoying. Also, the editing in this movie can be a little weird and annoying, too. Where there would be points in this movie where it will cut to something that, like in the future, and then Harley Quinn will chip in right before a big event will happen, and she'll go, "Well, wait, this is, I think I'm getting too far along in this story. We need to go back a little bit." And it'll go like 4 months later. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And like at first you're like, okay, like that's kind of cute and funny, but they keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over. It became repetitive. I'm like, okay, this was a thing that was kind of cool at first, but now it's just kind of getting annoying because it just feels like most of this movie is just backstory. It is really just, the whole movie is more backstory of these characters than anything else. Like, it's a lot of this movie is flashbacks if you really think about it, more than the actual, like, what's happening in the movie. It sounds like I'm being more negative about this movie than I am, but I did really enjoy this movie. Also, this movie did not need to be rated R. This movie absolutely did not need to be rated. There was no reason this got an R rating. This is like the first DC movie to get an R rating, and it's not well deserved. I didn't think it was at all. like movies like Shazam had more violent shit in it than this movie. Like, yeah, there are parts of this movie, like I said, when Ewan McGregor cuts that guy's face off, but they kind of cut away from it. And also there's like what happens to the villain at the end of the movie is pretty violent, but other than that, there's not much violence in it. It's more, I think, got the R rating for its like language, but even then, you could probably cut some of that out, and it would have been still the same fucking movie. It wouldn't have made much of a difference. Like I said, there's no reason this was R rated. Like, why was this R rated? I don't understand that. Like the violent, like when there's fight scenes and stuff like that, there's like a little bit of blood, but not that much. But yeah, like that was, like I said, I'm not gonna say, like, it sounds like, again, I'm being more negative than positive. I did enjoy this movie a lot. Like I said, I like stuff like Shazam better, and like Aquaman I thought was better, but I still like this movie. All right, yeah, like, I don't get me wrong, like, I love that DC is getting their shit together and they're actually starting to make some really decent movies, or really good movies as of late. Everything they've done over the last couple of years has been fucking just, great up to this point. From Aquaman to now, it's been really, they've been knocking the shit out of the park. I didn't even hate Justice League when it came out. I know it has a lot of problems, and I know it's not very good. But it's like, I didn't hate it. Like, I'll say this is better than Justice League, but yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever. I recommend it. I don't know why the hell this movie is not doing well. I don't know at all. I'm genuinely surprised by that. I just hope that this doesn't, like with all these movies bombing, that I hope to God that this doesn't mean like Warner Brothers is going to start getting in trouble. Now Disney's going to buy Warner Brothers. Disney is about to, if this shit keeps happening, Disney is about to buy everything, and that's just not good for anybody. Yeah, trailers. I got a shitload of trailers in front of this movie. Pretty much all the new big trailers I got all in front of this movie, so I gotta get through them quickly. Burden. This is a movie about, it's based off a true story about this guy who was raised by Ku Klux Klan members and was raised into the KKK, and he lives in like South Carolina in this town that's run by the KKK pretty much, and he wants to get out of the KKK, and he gets some help. He gets some help from this like black community church run by Forrest Whitaker, and also Usher. Yeah, Usher's in this movie. That Usher, and it doesn't look bad at all. It has a lot of really good actors in it. Like, it looks like your stereotypical race relations historical drama that I've seen a million of these over the last few years, but it don't look bad. It don't look bad at all. Spiral. Okay, what is it? Spiral from the Book of Saw. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, first off, before I get into talking about the trailer, let's talk about this title of this movie. This has got to be one of the worst titles I've heard in my life. Like, come on, movie. That's what you can come up with? Spiral, the Book of Saw? Really? Really? You're gonna make a new Saw movie, and this is what you come up with. I hope between now and this summer, they change that fucking title. That's all I'm asking. Change that fucking title. It's a terrible title. That's really bad. Like, I think originally it was called, like, The Organ Donor. That would have been better. Like, I don't know what, like Saw the Organ Donor. There you go. I don't know. Fucking something like... So... Okay, if you don't know what this is, it's a new Saw movie, which, to my delight, I'm all happy about it. Because I love Saw. I love the Saw movies. I've been a big fan of the Saw movies. But what makes this one unique is that it's being produced and starring Chris Rock. Yeah, that Chris Rock. And also Samuel L. Jackson starring in it, too. I am not making this up. This is a real fucking thing. I knew about this a while back. I'm like, yeah, this is happening. And Darren Bowsman, the director of the second, third, and fourth Saw movies, is directing. Okay. Those are the more violent, where those movies got a little bit more violent. That's when the movies that really got more violent was with his films. But, okay. I'm fine with that. That's cool. I would have rather seen like somebody like James Wan or Lee Wannell come back to the series and do it, but whatever. I know those guys are probably busy. This trailer is weird because you wouldn't really tell if this movie was a Saw movie until like the title pops up, because it does have a little bit of the music cues of the original score of this Saw film in this trailer, but it's like more like Seven. Like there's a whole new set of crimes that are set years from now, from the original films. They're like a copycat of the original crimes or something like that. I don't know. The trailer was a teaser trailer, and it didn't look bad. I have high hopes. I'm crossing my fingers. I love the Saw franchise. They're guilty pleasures of mine. So I mean, I'm sure I'll love it. Speaking of terrible titles, I'm not joking. The title for the next movie, F9 The Fast Saga. That's what the fucking end of the trailer said. F9 The Fast Saga. The new Fast and Furious movie, if you don't know. Again, I hope that's not the real title. Come on. Like, are you guys just giving up at this point with these fucking titles, right? Hollywood's just giving up with titles. So, Fast and Furious 9. I can't believe we're doing a ninth one, but again, this is one of my guilty pleasure films series, so I'm on board for this. I'm going to see it regardless. So let's recap with this trailer. Two big things. One, John Cena is Vin Diesel's brother. What? That is hilarious. And John Cena is the villain in this movie. Okie dokie, then. And like I said, he's Vin Diesel's brother. I don't know how that works. That's all I'm gonna say is, like, that is maybe the most absurd thing in this whole franchise I've heard in a while. That's saying a lot. And then Han's alive. Of course. Why not? I was like, fuck it. Like, might as well bring back Gal Gadot too. She's probably still alive too in this franchise. She's the only one who's, her and Paul Walker are the only ones that remain dead. That's a bad joke. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's fucking Fast and Furious. I love these movies. They're dumb as hell. The new trailer for The Way Back. This is the sports drama with Ben Affleck, where he's an recovering alcoholic who's trying to find his life and then becomes a basketball coach for his old high school team. It's a feel-good movie. It looks cliched as shit. I've seen a million movies like these before. If you've seen any sports movie, you've seen a movie like this before. It looks fun. Like I said, I like Ben Affleck. It looks like he's trying to get an Oscar nomination, or maybe even get an Oscar, even though it's coming out in March. Pretty much Oscars pretty much ignore anything that comes out early in the year, but we'll see. And then In the Heights, it's a musical movie musical written by say his name, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who I do like. I like him a lot. Where it's like a movie about, I don't know, it's like I don't know what the fuck this movie is about, honestly. I really didn't. It's like a guy who's living in the ghetto or something like that. It's about his life or something. I don't know what the fuck it was about. It's a musical. I didn't really pay attention much in that trailer. Like, once I figured out it was a musical, even though it's Lin-Manuel Miranda directing. Sorry, not directing, writing the story. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of musicals, so yeah, there you go. That's as far as trailers. What's this week? Sonic the Hedgehog, Downhill, The Photograph, and Fantasy Island. That's all that I know for sure. They'll be coming out this weekend at my theater. So those will be the reviews I'll be having this weekend. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later.